Was Jordan Love amazing this past Friday? No. Was Jordan Love terrible this past Friday? Also no. Is the internet overreacting anyway? Affirmative. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Podcast, the podcast where you don't have to backtrack, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. I want to know who what love is. I want you to show me Grossi, and today we are going to be breaking down, analyzing, reacting to Jordan Love's performance this past Friday as he played an entire half against the San Francisco 49ers. Just because I feel like we need to talk about it, let's get it out of the way, talk about the good, talk about the bad, and talk about what to look for going forward. Before we get to that, I want to do a big shout and thank you to some brand new patrons and YouTube members. First, on the Patreon side of things, we have Dylan Almeida, we have Vance Hansen, we have Garrett Clemens, we have Adam Cawthorn, we have Lex the Human, 2014 NFC Championship. Maximilian Super and Brother for Here, a big shout out and thank you to you all. And over on the YouTube side of things, joining the Grossi Posse Plus, we have Hunting for Entertainment, Nave68, and Jobo No-Go, a big shout out and thank you to you all. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. Heading into this past Friday, there were a lot of expectations, and I know from me and other Packer fans, a lot of excitement because Jordan Love, a lot of the reports coming out of camp have been very positive. Aaron Rodgers was singing Jordan Love's praises, saying that the career trajectories are kind of similar. Just like it was Rodgers' third year before things started to click, it seems that things are starting to click a little bit more for Jordan Love, and we were going to see finally how that translated from practice/camp into game time experience. And as I said earlier, Jordan Love played the entire first half. Now, his stats, he went 13 for 24, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So, a lot of people, especially those who did not watch the game, will look at that and go, the guy threw 3 interceptions, so not really a great 2022 preseason debut. However, I think it's very important for some context here. First of all, if you watched the game and watched all of his throws, 2 out of those 3 interceptions was not his fault. That third one, 100%, the throw was a bit behind the receiver, and unfortunately, it got intercepted. However, one of the other ones was a tip pass, and the other one was a 50-50 ball in which I thought they wound up catching it. Shanahan wound up challenging it, and the Packers lost that challenge, but it wasn't a terrible throw from Jordan Love. So right off the bat, do you want to see 3 interceptions on the stat line? Absolutely not. But let's be honest here, only one really was his fault. And before I dive further into this video, I want to make sure this is very clear. I'm not here to apologize for Jordan Love or to hype him up to be amazing. I just want to be very objective here that I don't know what kind of player Jordan Love is going to be. There are many people coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, it's year 3. Where is the progress? And I think that you've seen some progress and it was on display this past Friday, and it was just little things. However, I'm not going to sit here going, oh, well, yeah, he's the next starter, he's the next Hall of Famer or anything like that, but I'm also not going to say he's a complete and total bust because, again, the guy has so little experience. He played minimally last year. Last year was his first preseason, and by the way, he was hurt for some of those games. He didn't have any preseason games the year that he was drafted, so we really haven't seen a ton from Jordan Love. So before we dive into some of the bad stuff, let's talk about the good things. 1, Matt LaFleur has been telling Jordan Love to sling it, and he did sling it. I mean, there were some beautiful passes from Jordan Love. He was throwing with pretty good accuracy at some points. He had a really nice deep ball on a couple of tries. He showed more poise in the pocket. He was making throws on the run, and he looked just a little bit more comfortable. Kind of flip that from last year and you saw Jordan Love and you definitely could see that, yeah, he was still a raw talent and he's still developing and he had a long ways to go. Here looked a little bit better. One of the things that really stood out to me was their use of the read option, because while I was watching the game, that was something that was just sending off hey, I've seen this before. Where had I seen it? I saw this in the Chiefs game last year when Aaron Rodgers got COVID. Jordan Love, of course, played against the Kansas City Chiefs. And throughout that game, the read option was present. However, they never allowed Jordan Love to actually run the ball. They faked it every single time. They just handed it off to the back, and that was it. But if he wound up keeping it, he could have made a run to the outside and could have gotten a lot of yards. They actually allowed Jordan Love to run the ball, and he's not too bad of a runner. And that's on display as he ran 4 times for 24 yards. He was the Packers' second leading rusher on the evening. And it just allows some more variety in his skill set and something that he definitely can utilize against teams. Now, of course, we're not playing with the best of the best here. A lot of the starters wound up not even playing at all. But considering we're going to have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, if Jordan Love had to start, having the read option there and surrounded by 2 great backs, that's definitely not a bad thing to have. So I think you definitely saw some progress from Jordan Love, and while I don't think he's anywhere near ready yet, I don't think that he's abysmal. I don't think that you can call him a bust, because again, we're talking about maybe his 3rd preseason game here, so I'm not willing to say, oh, just throw it all out right now, because the fact that there is progress is great, and the better thing is, unless barring a terrible injury, we're not going to have to see Jordan Love start a game this season. So right now, we kind of don't have to worry about it. Now, the Packers are eventually going to have to make a decision after this season because they're going to say, hey, we're either going to say yes to his 5th-year option or no. And if they do say yes to the 5th-year option, they're going to be paying him upwards of over $20 million. But let's talk about some of the bad things. For example, there was a 2-minute drill that was leaked. Looking at you, Tyler, from a couple of weeks ago in which you saw Jordan Love move the ball down the field and then throw an interception in practice. You saw some of that here, in which some of his accuracy was off. Of course, we talked about the bad interception. You look at the first drive and definitely stalled out there. They went 3 and out. But I, again, will point to the fact that every drive after the first drive, yes, many ended in interceptions, which, again, were not all of his fault, but they were long, sustained drives. We're talking 9 or 11 plays. So that is a good thing. But the big thing that Jordan Love really needs to work on is his consistency, in which I think that's what's been lacking from our play, or at least what we've seen of Jordan Love, and that really shouldn't be too surprising. A reminder, Aaron Rodgers, his first couple of years, especially in the preseason, looked nothing like the back-to-back MVP. So Jordan Love is still going to have some time. I'm excited to see him play this Friday against the Saints. We'll see if he's able just to continue to improve. And if you're a Packers fan, that's all you really should be looking for. The biggest thing that I'm taking away from this past Friday is, okay, he didn't look like he got worse, or he didn't look like he just stalled out. It looked like he got a bit better. Is it like leaps and bounds? No, but it's a bit better. And right now for Packers fans, we don't need him to be in starting shape. And again, to be fair, we've seen so little of him that I think that that's a pretty lofty expectation. But you do see guys like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, for example, and they start immediately and they do really, really well. Jordan Love has not started immediately. He is sat for going on to his 3rd season, and he's playing like a player that doesn't really have a lot of game time experience. We'll see how he looks throughout the preseason. Hopefully he can stay healthy and play in all 3 games. And after that, we'll kind of evaluate and see where we are with Jordan Love. And then, like I said, there will be an impending decision that will be coming after this season. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. How did you feel about Jordan Love's first start of the 2022 preseason? Let me know. You know, send me at TomGrossiComedy.com or TomGrossiComedy, all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.